arrived for the very first episode of the Waiting Room podcast. This is going to be fun. I'm your host. I'm Derek Rushe with the three should be normal guests, not guests, but three others co-hosts of this. We've got Azmyl Yunor.
Hello.
Brendan James the Cruz.
Assalamualaikum.
And Fabian Mark Peter.
Up, people.
What is up? So the general outline of this podcast is we decided to start something that because we're bored during the MCO. That's probably the main goddamn reason. But then it's just we want to just have some sort of podcast that encompasses all the arts, mainly probably music, but mostly the arts in Malaysia, and discuss and just break down on a general weekly basis what we think is going on in the arts and music in Malaysia and how we'd like to improve things, what do we think about it, what are we think is going wrong, general. Hopefully not turn into a bitching session, but probably will. So probably the best for people who are going to be watching this who don't know who the hell any of us are, or for all one person who's going to start watching this podcast on a regular basis, I think we might as well introduce ourselves. So I think we should start with Fabian, since he was last to come into the room.
Yeah.
So might as well introduce yourself and tell us how you got into music, what's your lineage, and what's up with you in music at this moment in time.
Okay. So my name is Fabian Mark Peter. Basically, how I got into music is interesting because it all started in church. So
Okay, finish. Close topic.
Hey,
Change topic.
So started playing music in church, and then next thing I know, I got invited by a friend to sit in for another guitarist in a cover band, and I started playing with that band, and then from playing guitars for the band, I was made lead singer of the band, and that's when I broke up and started writing songs, and that's when I left the band.
This is like a band that only plays in the church, or you're church people?
No. So it's not
outside
a church band. Yeah, it's an outside band. I got invited.
Okay.
Yeah.
So someone seen you at the church and went, he's good, let's get him. Or he could just play guitar, let's get him.
Yeah.
So what sort of...
And where I am right now is, so I think, I've had like a span where I played music, performed music solo. And I think in the last 2 years, I've got a band together and we are called Katrika.
Yeah.
So basically now I'm like, in between performing as Fabian Mark Peter and performing as Katrika.
And do you see
Katrika.
an actual distinction between both, between Katrika and yourself, like? Because it is quite something, because you like, do you have two separate thinking processes when you're writing songs? You write songs.
These
are Fabian songs and these are the band songs.
Yep.
You do have two completely separate thinking processes.
Yeah.
Because that's interesting, because a lot of people just go like, they write songs and then they'll say, this can work for the band, but you're actually but that's how it is though. Of course sometimes I would sit and say, okay, I would want to write a song for the band, but of course that process is slightly different because I would then inform the bandmates, and then we would sit down together sometimes during practice and all that, and that's how we build the song. But I wouldn't sit specifically and say, okay, today I'm going to write a song for the band, or today I'm going to write a song for myself. It sometimes can be both. There's no fixed rule to it.
Do you take your own stuff and then bring it into the band? Do you do that for all your songs?
So far, yeah. Okay. Yeah. But you'll notice that the arrangement's slightly different,
That's part of
it
the
fits
fun,
the band. Yeah.
But at the moment, there's been no organic songwriting with the band, where I mean,
just all four of you are.
Someone just starts playing a riff, and then you just build the song around a riff.
Oh no, not yet.
You'll start enjoying that. Those are some of the fun parts of just someone. Someone doesn't even have a song, because like generally when you have a song, and the band starts playing around the song, the band are just kind of thinking we're just. But like when someone's just got a riff, and then you just build around that riff. That's when a band really starts gelling together and coming together as people. So that's always good.
Yeah. Man,
But it's
I've not
interesting
experienced it.
because during the MCO,
Yeah.
one of my bandmates threw up this idea and said, because we were all sitting down at home, and the thing about Katrika is everybody has got their own things on the side. They're also doing their own stuff, their solo projects, or they're playing in different bands and stuff. So someone told me once, one of my bandmates said, "Hey, if you have an idea or whatever, it doesn't have to be a full, complete song or anything. But if you have like a rough idea, a riff or anything, record it, send it over, and let's see how we can,
There you
expand
go.
it or,
Yeah.
or do whatever with it." Yeah.
Well, that means the band want that. That means the band like the fact that they're in the band. They want
Mm-hmm.
they want that
important, yeah.
organic process to happen.
Yep.
They just don't want to be hired guns. They actually feel part of a band now, so which is a good thing. That's
Yeah.
a good thing. It's always a good thing. Okay, Azmyl, your story. Come on.
Oh shit! Where do I start, man?
Azmyl, you're as old as me, so I'm sure your story's a long one. It's like, woo.
Well, I picked up the guitar '94. I was 17.
So
Young piano.
you were late enough bloomer as well, because I was 18 when I picked up a guitar. So
Yeah. I had never walked into a. I know never thought I'd be in a band. I always dreamed about it. I mean,
Same as-
I was
same as
Form
that.
2. Yeah,
Same as
yeah,
that.
Form 2 when I saw 91 seeing Nirvana, Smell Like Teen Spirit on TV, music video. At that time you gotta wait for music. It's not like now.
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
wait
Back then it was like you had 3 channels. Maybe one of your friends, had satellite, so they had MTV, and you got a chance to see something like that. But like,
Oh, I was so deprived of that. I didn't have any friends with.
yeah, we had one friend who had satellite TV, so you got once a week you went up to his house and watched a bit of MTV and got to see something good or something like. Are you listening?
MTV lah, huh?
Are you
MTV. That's what we are
yeah.
calling it lah.
Yeah, not YouTube. Yeah.
Are you listening? Are you listening to the rock? You listen to a rock show on BBC Radio 1 on a Sunday night? They would have a rock show for an hour. So
In Malaysia, there was this channel. This was later on, about mid-90s on. There was on Time Highway Radio. There was a radio show called the Alternative Rock Show. It was hosted by Kamil Hoffman, who later on became Finas punya head. He was the coolest Finas head ever. But anyway, this by that. But when I went to college, that's when it really happened.
yeah.
Met a classmate, and first time go jamming studio. I was like, what the fuck is this, man? Wow. It was funny period because it was a period where the jamming studios had their posters saying, please don't play Nirvana. It was like everybody just playing Nirvana. Offspring was a hit, that song. So but it was in the air, OAG came out about a thing or so. And then, because I always dreamed being a band, but I didn't know what I could do. But I just started playing some chords and start jamming. So that's how it started. So my first band was called Damn Weather. But then, long story short, then I had to play battle bands, all that kind of stuff. This was no gigging. There was no that shit was the underground lah. I mean, you had to find your way in, but I didn't play any gigs. But then I went to Perth, right?
Yeah.
And that's when I think I became a real musician, because I started busking there.
Oh yeah.
Nobody wanted to give me a part-time job. Everybody rejected me, man. So then one day I walked in the city and like saw some buskers and like, man, they suck. I can do better. Yeah, I can do better, man. So I think that was the best music lesson I had.
Also, it gives you confidence in playing in front of people.
Yeah, and because people don't really care when you're busking. You gotta get their attention.
Yeah.
That's liberating too,
Yeah.
And but it helped me because being the only Asian guy doing that, so I kind of stood out. So
Where were you?
Like
Perth.
Oh, Perth. All right, you
Australia.
went to college in Australia. Okay.
Shithole, man. I was there because it's cheap. Overseas, right? Belajar overseas, dapat chance. But it was affordable. But that's how I started. But I really had my music education there. There was a music store called 78 Records, and it's refreshing. I could just get a stack of CDs, and they had like listening booths. It's just like a bench with headphones.
Yeah, I remember
I was
listening.
just like, listen.
Remember listening
Yeah.
to
That non-existent in Malaysia. You go to that time, they had a CD shops called Power Station, Salem Power.
Yeah.
That was a time when cigarettes companies could Salem Power Station, and they had one stupid CD player. And whenever you want to listen to the CD, the salesman would do one face one. But this one was like
because he has to
refreshing
work
as hell,
for the
man.
first time.
Yeah, exactly. The Australian ones, I had a stack and I listened to all and they're like, no, I'm not buying. Yeah, no worries, man. It's like, wow. It's like, okay. So, but it didn't inspire me to open a record store. But anyway, that was my start. So I wrote a lot of songs. I was heartbroken too. Band broke up. But that's when I say I missed the good stuff. Fugazi playing in KL. I missed it because I was in fucking Perth. And then
Did
my
they not come?
bandmates would eat.
Did they not come
Huh?
to Perth?
No, they didn't, man. That's the weird thing. No, Perth was also, it's kind of off the grid. Pearl Jam played in '98.
Okay.
And I went and see that. Apparently, the initial tour date, they forgot Perth. Till fans in Perth had to like petition online, then they added Perth. So
Pearl Jam just forgot Perth. They forgot to add it lah. It's not like they had the show and they forgot to go to the show.
Oh no! They forgot that. They forgot the CD completely. Yeah.
We were doing the same. We were doing the same in Ireland in the mid-90s because no one was coming to Ireland because essentially the civil war was happening in Northern Ireland. No one, no one wanted to come to anywhere near us. So we were absolutely starved of any. That's why the scene became so good because everybody was just starved of good music. So the scene created itself because you were just going, no one's coming, guys, so we might as well do this thing ourselves.
Yeah, make it our own,
Yeah,
I heard there's a backstory of even Seattle because the 80s. Nobody.
You always find these backwater places always end up producing the best music because it's just people going listen, guys, F this. No one's going to come and see us.
Yeah.
Bands don't want to come to our small backwater towns, so let's just do it ourselves. It's generally the most authentic music because they're not doing it for money or fame. They're just doing it because they love playing. They just
that's true. That's true.
That was all us. We didn't care. We just wanted to play, play anywhere, some horrendous gigs, but we'll play.
Yeah, but just play, man. That's
the thing. Just play. It's fun just to play. Play and write.
Yep.
Create your own gigs. So Brandon.
Hi.
Muka interview terus.
Muka interview terus. Well, I started with my brother. He formed a band in school with his friends, and they had a singer who, if he actually sees this, they had a singer who kind of sucked, I think. And I guess they tried him out for a while, and during this time I was maybe just singing at family functions upon a lot of requests, people be bugging, not because it was just because I was too shy. I didn't want to sing in front of people, but they would end up giving me money and to teach me to sing. I'd make $50. I made $50 at 15 years old before I sang a song.
What did you get for Hotel California?
Oh no, that time it was Level Keepers Life. Still the Eagles, but not Hotel California.
But only connoisseurs know that one.
That made me some good money, man.
There you go, early on.
So then this happened a few times, and my brother, after they decided to change the band up, they asked me to join. So I joined them for about 2 years. We were just doing the Battle of the Band stuff, open mics. We'd be lucky if we landed a paid show, just go and play covers, just friends of friends, whatever.
Yeah.
So that went on for about 2 years. I was only singing then. I didn't play, actually. And then I learned a couple of chords because I wanted to play. Everybody was holding something, and I used to do weird things with my hands because I didn't know what to do while I was singing. So one hand would go on the mic like that, and the other hand would be hanging like this. This was how I sang all the time. And they were like, what are you doing? So I think that kind of helped. I just thought picking up a guitar might help. But the band disbanded after a while. They went to study and all that. And picking up the guitar helped because then I could hit open mics. And I didn't actually think, I always thought I'd only end up doing covers. which was what I was
serious,
exposed to.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it was what I was exposed to growing up. Like you go to bars, you see bands playing cover songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
My
standard.
dad was doing the same thing, but so when he was pushing me to become people like your Gerard Singhs, your Mark Renish, and you know how they're all just doing the one man band thing and
Yeah.
holding an entire night at a bar. But yeah, that all somehow changed. Of course, with Merdekaria.
I'm sure it was
And,
Mordecai was such a huge influence on to change.
Yeah, it was
It
because I
changed
walked
from
into
covers.
Merdekaria and I played 2 covers for my first open mic.
Was it?
Yeah, and then Brian came up to me and he asked me if I had any originals, which I did, and I put it up on Reverb Nation or SoundCloud or something like that. But
What year was that, man?
did I put it up?
Oh no, your first open mic, Merdekaria.
Oh, it must have been 2013.
2013. Just when they opened
2013.
lah. We still look like
think-
a living room.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah lah. That time you butted after that. Yeah.
After that, lah.
Do
Yeah.
you remember the
After that.
the egg box mic stands that they had? They
Oh, yeah.
couldn't afford mic stands, so they had 20 egg boxes and the mic.
Used to
egg box,
sit on
push-
that, lah, dude.
Push up, yeah.
That's a mic stand, huh?
Yeah, it was a mic stand, yeah. It was a
Oh,
mic stand.
I see.
Oh man, it was.
I thought it was a seat. I think I sat on it too.
Yeah, it was a seat, but there were seats like that. Egg
Yeah.
box seats, but they
No,
used,
it used to be a
they
seat
used
too.
them as a mic stand as well because it was had the right shape, so it was like so you could put them
that's
set the mic and
true.
push it against an amp. So,
But yeah, that's how I ended up here, lah.
and my first time in there was
It's,
2014, so like they would have still been really raw and fresh back then.
14. It might have been early 14, lah. Yeah.
Early
But yeah,
14.
that's the rough gist of my story.
That's true. I mean,
So,
yeah.
so for
It's
probably,
actually okay.
so probably
Continue.
for Fabian and Brendan, probably Merdekaria was the original places that you played for original music. But Azmyl, prior to Merdekaria, where would original bands have played in the KAL scene?
Well,
Where was the
I mean, when I
was the
came back
underground
from
scene?
there's nothing actually. I crashed. I remember in '97 I came back from holiday. My bandmate Alex, we really tight, good buddies. We crashed Azmyl Yusuf's bar. Azmyl Yusuf had this bar called Ecstasy or X Place in Damansara Uptown. And my friend very confident, like Alex said, "There's open mic." I said, "What's open mic?" We never heard of open mic. There's no
Yeah.
such thing. I said, "Just go. You can go on stage." So we went there. There's balloons and shit. And then we asked the guy at the door, "What happened?" "Oh, it's close tonight. It's Azmyl's birthday." It's like, fuck. So we sat at the road. Alex was singing a song. And then hey, let's just crash lah. Wait till the party started. See, if people are drunk, then we go in. And we did. We just crashed in. And Azmyl Yusuf was behind the bar with 2 girls. I think one of them could have been Paula Malay Ali. And then like, "Hey, Azmyl, can we just play?" "Yeah, go." We just went there. No introduction, nothing. Yeah. We just like played 2 songs, I think. One of them was something I wrote. I had that song since. Yeah, so I wasn't aware. I don't think there was anything. But when I came back from Perth in '99, then 2000, No Black Tie had just started. Kind of like I
the
think
original No Black Tie.
So Rafiq and Evelyn, and the scene was very small. The guys doing the jazz was close with Joe, kid from the punk scene. So there wasn't acoustic scene. It was just the underground. It was kind of broad. So my first paid gig was No Black Tie, really.
Really?
This was when the old No Black Tie ventilation was really bad. So there were guys with cigars, and halfway through the gig they had to stop because open the door and let the ventilation. Yes, I'm serious, man. And first gig, I tell you this. Yeah?
For
This was
anybody,
the first solo gig.
For anybody who doesn't know Brendan and Fabian, or anybody who listens doesn't know, the old No Black Tie is. Do you know where the Rainforest Hostel is now?
Next to Pisco.
Next to Pisco.
Okay.
That was the original. That was the original place for
That's
No
all
Black Tie.
Yeah.
Prior
So
to
the
main
downstairs.
venue. Yeah, prior to the main venue now. So it wasn't acoustically designed. There wasn't as far as I know, the original No Black Light, it wasn't even a PA. People just went up and played with
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh. Wow.
So, but that was where anything acoustic was happening. I had my
Yeah.
noise band. I had Maharaja commission started around 2000. So we played some gigs in Ampang Park, underground venues. The venues were a bit bands like band gigs.
Yeah.
So, but the first acoustic show I did was actually in like the studio at Dataran Merdeka. It was
Okay.
for Amnesty International. Some benefit for some Burmese comedians who were jailed or something. I had no idea. I just went there and played. But it was a good introduction though. You know, I was backstage and one of the girls kissed me, man. I don't even know who she was. Like, wow, this is cool, man. Like, never happen again.
Rock and roll.
That in that way, you know. Just
Yeah, that's the
backstage,
thing.
eh?
That's the thing. I always say I've never got a woman from playing in a band ever. Never.
Yeah,
got,
it's a lie, man. It's,
never got laid from being in a band. Never. It never happened. Not once. I was
Yeah.
going, this is bullshit.
No, what?
No.
but the underground was interesting though. Yeah, I mean the fact that my noise rock band didn't fit anywhere, so we would end up playing grindcore gigs. And so, and you know, the band singing like songs that are less than a minute. Those are eye opening for me. I didn't really listen to grindcore.
Oh, pure Napalm
Well-
Death type stuff.
Yeah, when we went on stage, it was my friend joked like we were like a riot control because when we went on, all the kids didn't know what to do. They're just sitting, you know. They just so. But yeah, but then I realized I had songs anyway. I was already releasing stuff on cassette on my own DIY in the 1990s.
All right, cool.
So I was.
So you're always
around
you were
there.
always proactive about what you wanted to do. You're like, I'll
Yeah,
do whatever way I'll do
a-
it. I'll do it. Like,
It was inspired by my friends telling me all these underground guys,
Yeah.
like the punk, lo-fi stuff, and then went, "Oh, do you mean that's legit? Oh, cool." It was very liberating, empowering. You feel that, oh, I don't need some asshole to judge.
yeah, you
Of
don't
course,
need
you
a
do
rec-
it properly, lah.
you don't need a record label. You don't need.
Don't need.
And
So,
the
but it
song,
was fun.
generally the
It's a
songs
hobby,
stand
though.
out. Yeah, it's always.
Making the album covers is a hobby, man. So I enjoyed that. So I
remember,
really enjoyed just making that shit up.
I remember those
it
days
wasn't like-
well.
Fun, right?
Yeah, just hand out tips.
Yeah,
Just hand out tips.
Hand out tips.
yeah.
Check
Now
out-
we just like
send
on
links.
this-
Now you just send
links,
links. Yeah.
Yeah.
cropping your photo. It's like then it's
Cropping your
fucking
photo. Yeah. Just
Canva.
Not even
Yeah.
not even cropping your
I'm
photo.
gonna-
Taking 20 photographs to ensure you get the right one. That's the worst. Like,
shit. Yeah, and then forgetting to delete those 20
yeah.
or those under
Uh,
19. It's a strange world, lah. It's
That's not where
I'm glad that I got to see everything, lah, from then to now.
Yeah. I got to grow up
Yeah.
as well. Like it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to go through the proper
Yeah.
underground scene. Like it was really nice. Playing proper bands. To where we are now, which I didn't even know.
Hey, Derek.
Yes.
Now we've all talked. You tell your story.
Yeah. Yeah, we want to hear your story, man. How you end up
Um,
here?
Well, as it says, started playing guitar when I was 18, and then like moved pretty quickly from that. Was like get a band together as quickly as possible can. And the first band I was in, we played one gig in a pub in our local bar, which we got paid for. And straight away, I knew straight away. It's like I don't want to be in a cover band. I want to write songs. So we just write songs. I go, this is not what I want to do. It's not what I want to do. Like, so because we were just doing all sorts of covers. Like there was just everything was just thrown into the band. Like just get a set together to play a local pub because they were paying us, and we were terrible.
Oh,
We were terrible. Like we had to hire our own PA from a rental place. I didn't know what we were doing with this. We didn't I didn't know anything about audio back then. So like had to set up our own PA, no monitors, and just play. Like all friends and family coming to see that. There it was like, but it was a good learning curve. But then got into bands, and by that stage, the kind of civil war in Northern Ireland was just ending, and my hometown is just right on the border with a bigger town in Northern Ireland. There was just a bridge separating us, so there was a local alternative club opened up then in a place called Strabane. So started going there, and they had weekly alternative discos and gigs. So went there, and then you got to meet people of your own scene. So that just became inspiring. So they just formed a band, and a band became another band, And one of my friends in there, he eventually became the manager, and he was saying to me, right, we need to start organizing regular gigs. So I go, okay, I'll be the promoter and I'll be the sound engineer, because I was getting the sound back then anyway. I was starting to prefer. So we started a regular gig night round about, I think it was about 2001. We started a regular gig night, and we were able to get all the best unsigned bands from Northern Ireland to play our shitty wee hometown, which was great. Like, I mean, the scene then in Northern Ireland was amazing. I mean, there's so many good bands. I mean, probably the biggest band who came out of the scene was Two Door Cinema Club, who played the venue when they were 18 and had no drummer at the time.
But, they've been around since they were teens, eh?
Oh my! They must have been about 17 when we played my venue. Like, but like loads of loads of bands, like, and like that's how I got into sound. So once I started getting into sound, then I was like going, I prefer being behind the board than I do being on stage. Even though I love playing with my mates, but the board, was being behind the desk was way more entertaining for me, because I got to see so many good bands for free. I got to take part in making them sound good, and it just seemed like an in. Because anytime I went to gigs when I was younger, I always wanted to know who are these people behind the stage, and who are these people at this, and how do they get in? So it was a way into the kind of backstage, pulling behind the curtain, seeing the Wizard of Oz, like, and that always felt more interesting to me, seeing what's going on behind the curtain rather than what's going on in front of the curtain. Even though I love the music and stuff like that, I always preferred the kind of pull back the curtain, find out what's going on, and that was my way into that. So. And then I fell in love with Malay, and now I'm here.
Who's Emily?
Eh?
Who's Emily?
I fell in love with a Malay.
Oh, Malay. I thought you said Emily. I was like,
And
that
I'm
connection.
and I'm Tahoe, and I'm a Malaysian. You still don't understand a goddamn word I say. And I'm Tahoe.
Enam tahun itu bahasa teruk.
Sikit.
Sikit.
But anyway,
But it's interesting, you guys see like both Derek and Azmyl have come through like different periods, and then you see where music has come to, or the independent scene at least has come to where it is right now. And I remember like before Merdekaria became like the place for like indie music scene, the indie music, we also had like standalone events. I don't know if Brendan, you remember like Arts on the Move.
Lilas.
Correct. Arts on the Move, like at the NX in Central Market.
Yeah, correct.
Kaki Seni used to have like, pop-up gigs here and there for like acoustic performers and stuff. And, only that we're talking about it now, it's, I'm remembering all this.
I mean, people used open mics. There used to be this place called Lepak in Hartamas also. I think ZRV used to play there. Yuna used to open mic there. There were a few places, but I guess people used open mics as a place to, those who were confident enough or thought about, hey, let's do an original tune. They might.
But it was very new lah. That time I was organizing too. I was organizing as Troubadours. Then we did the singer-songwriter Kel Sing Song thing. From our end, I think that was like mid 2000s onwards. Open mic things started happening.
But did you encourage original music?
Or
was it?
We were pushing that. Kel Sing Song was all about original music. But the cool thing about getting the singer-songwriter thing happening together was, it wasn't about genre anymore.
No, it's just
because the underground is very genre-based.
Yeah.
Where singer-songwriters is, hey, come, you got original material, all nice stuff, So, so that was, I think, one thing I found. That's why I was encouraged, and we started organizing more, because it was very inclusive.
Yeah.
Across the board.
That's the thing about the underground, because the underground is supposed to be like, it was always supposed to be with like punk rock and anything goes. But then
Yeah.
it became really insular and really snobbish.
Oh yeah, man.
It happens in every scene, even happened
Every
back home.
scene underground.
It just became really, really insular. Anybody who wasn't in any sort of band, who wasn't even anywhere near alternative, it was like going, yeah, fuck you, we don't want you anywhere near us. Like, so it went from being like pure punk rock where everybody was welcome, everything goes, to being this kind of like elitist scene, but called underground.
Elite
Yeah.
scene. I see.
Elite.
In a way,
Oh man.
But those were some good times, though. I really remember like places like Lila's.
Yeah, Lila's, the Tasik there.
Correct.
There's Mark's place also.
Mark's place was
Place,
above Lila's, right?
Mark's
It was in
place.
that same Kelana Jaya Lake area.
That,
Lepak
that was
Cafe.
already, yeah. So that was already like probably 2010.
Correct.
Yeah.
2009 onwards, yeah.
Yeah. Cause we organized the last KNC song 2009. Yuna played, so there was, then after that she skyrocketed. But before that, we were randomly, me, Jerome, and Sehon, the Troubadour. We just a goal. We used to organize in La Bodega in Tingkat Tonchin. It's gone now. It's shut down. But we looked around. But then we asked them. So they gave us the quietest night. It was a Sunday night. We thought, who's gonna come? But it happening lah, Sunday night. So it's like, was strange. But then that stopped because the owner sold a lot and want to open a steamboat restaurant. Yeah, something like that lah. Oh, okay. But it was during when we organized that. We collaborated with this other lady. Her name is Jasmine. So she's had this thing called Doppelganger. So she featured open mics and more LGBT friendly. So we worked together with Troubadour. So it's interesting. So the singers-writers open mic, got some of the indie guys, and then from her end we got spoken word. So at least on the level on the surface, look like, hey, there's chicks at this gig. It's kind of diverse. The underground's all guys.
Yeah. Oh, that
Exactly.
See the big X in my box.
Pure sausage fest. It's a pure sausage fest. It's
Wait, this doppelganger thing, where was it? I think I played
originally
one.
was it at was a place called Blue Club or something. It was in
Blue something.
NX, it was NX Gallery behind Central Market. It was actually a gay club. So they used to organize on a Sunday day. So but I don't know. We got to know Jasmine because Jerome's from the LGBT.
Did you ever play the gay friendly club that used to be beside No Black Tie? Marina, my wife.
Oh no, I never
went it a few times. Like
they were very I think during that early 2000s they probably were more close, you could say. But within like the people coming in, you get guys at Punky Tate, so we became good friends. But still, I think everybody had their own. I think the LGBT wasn't open yet till the late 2000s, but that was cool lah. It was different lah. But I just got tired lah organizing things. It was fun while it lasted. Never thought it was gonna be a long time. It was during that Troubadour when Reza came back from overseas. Said, "Yeah, I wanna do this thing called Moonshine." It's like, oh, that's cool, man. So then he started that. So then, we kind of stopped lah. Just want to play, man.
I understand. When you promote for so long, you end up getting tired. You just because you just end up, because no harm, but you're dealing with bands all the time, and it's tiresome. Like as much as I love musicians, they can be some of the most tiresome human beings you will ever meet.
Man.
They are so picky and there's just so many egos you have to massage just to try and organize it.
Yeah, man.
Even in a scene that's supposed to be chilled, like the alternative scene, they're just, oh God. What do you mean we're going on first? Were you going on first? Oh, can we not go on last?
Go on first.
No, you're not.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, merajuk, man. Some of them. Why go first?
Yeah.
People are still merajuking about shit like that.
Yeah. I remember 10 years ago, you made me go first. Like, hey, first is a golden spot, man.
In my old bands,
Oh,
because
man.
like my old bands, we were like very like I mean we were crazy on stage. We used to like so we're sort of heavier rock metal bands, so we used to throw ourselves about the stage. And we like it would be like we pride ourselves in being like at the drive-in Fugazi
Ah,
Glassjaw as our stage performance. So anytime promoters, like we would always be lumped into metal festivals, even though we weren't traditionally metal. So the promoters always made the mistake of putting us on early. So we would be like, going good, and I would like this. Okay, you're going to regret putting us on early. So they would put us on
Yeah.
third, and maybe about a 7-band thing. We would go on, rip the place apart, and walk off stage, and all the other bands would just look at us, go, "Fuck, how are we supposed to go on now?" They would be going over to the promoter, going, "We told you not to put these fuckers on. Put them on last." So like, we never complained about being put on early, but because you'd see it as a challenge. Then okay, we'll make the promoter put us on last. So I always encourage people of their if they start complaining about going on first.
Yeah.
If I was the promoter, I'd say, prove me wrong, make me wrong, make me put you on last the next time I book you, or, or do what you normally do and play your boring gig, and then that's why you're going on first. But so, and I always loved it when a band proved me completely wrong. It was always a pleasure to be proved wrong by a band. Like it's great to see a band just go up and just go, yeah, and just rip it, just completely.
Yeah.
So has there been a Malaysian band that has proved you wrong?
I've never promoted gigs here, so I've never had to have that problem of like bands going on.
No, but say like maybe maybe you just
Malaysia-
met them and they
Malaysia
were
music-
being a bit.
Malaysian music as a whole proved me wrong when I first moved here because I came with the usual Matalay snobbery of like I'm coming from like a very deep alternative scene in Ireland. So it was a very good scene. So coming in Malaysia thinking, oh well, I don't know anything about the music here. I don't think the musicians it's not going to be that good like. And then when I started working at No Black Tie, realizing very quickly when I first moved here, I was within 4 months I started working MBT and realizing how good the musicianship is in Malaysia and being humbled in that way, which was great. So it was good. It was really good to have that kind of fucking Western Matalay snobbery being ripped completely out of me and humbled. So that was a very good humbling experience. So yeah,
You know,
on that manner, I was proven wrong by the whole entire Malaysian scene. It wasn't just one band; it was everybody just proved me wrong, which is great.
Cool.
It was great. It was great to be proven wrong that way.
Malaysia boleh.
Malaysia, on that
It's
regard.
interesting because Merdeka had something similar, you know, when they first started. I still remember.
Yeah, the white guy.
They had, the white guy who at that time was a sports writer who worked for the New York Times. He was a Formula One writer for the New York Times. His name was Brad Spurgeon. And see, Brad used to come to Malaysia every year when Sepang used to host the Formula One race.
I've met that guy. I got drunk with that
Yeah.
guy one night in Merdeka. I had to leave him back to his hotel. He was absolutely hammered. So he played the guitar. He played his
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I met that guy. Yeah.
So he's like a blogger. I mean, apart from writing Formula One stories, he had a blog, and whenever he traveled with the race, he would find like open mics, and then he posted it on his blog. Like these are like the open mics in like those areas or whatever. So that particular night was also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, my first night at Merdeka. And at that time, it was still very new. You could just sign up on the spot. People were still ordering Maggi goreng from Sunraj downstairs. But it so happened to be that night, we had some really good musicians. Ray Chong was there. Hamir Zawawi was there. Abel Kemowens. I went with Abel. And then I think these guys had already signed up. But I had just gone there because I was with Abel, and I was thinking, oh shit, maybe I could sign up as well. Then I went up to the counter and asked Mel, I think, and Mel was like, yeah, you can sign up. And Brad was also on the list. And when everyone was going up, Brad was just sitting quietly by his side. He had his Zoom out and he was just recording and stuff. And then he went up and it was a good night. and then we chat lah, But the next day, or was it 2 days after that, somebody had posted and said, hey, this guy has, he's blogged about it, gave great reviews. He was like so surprised because he was like, I never knew anything about this place. It was like the only place that had an open mic, and I ended up there, and I was blown away by the raw talent here.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
the thing. It humbled me pretty quickly. And my first night in Merdicaria, Marina brought me, and it was, I don't know who was the open micers, but the headlining act was Samad, Riz, and Kian Lim doing.
Oh
some-
man,
doing
that
some-
was your first night.
That was my first night doing some
Wow.
Wasn't?
trilogy guitar thing together.
Yeah. This was the Merdicaria matches.
Yeah. So that
How was that your first
that
night
was
in
my first. That
Merdicaria?
was my first night, and it didn't.
No,
work.
lah, Derek.
It,
No, that.
it was my first night in Merdicaria.
Oh, I think
2000
I was doing sound that night, lah, dude.
In 2000 no, you couldn't because I was Merdecai's first sound engineer. It's impossible.
Then there's no way. How could that have been? Then who was the engineer? Choi. Then I would have been.
No.
there.
It was me, Tree, and Choi. Choi came after me. I was the first sound engineer in Merdicaria. Because it was after that night that I emailed Brian and Mel and says, listen, I can see what you're trying to do here, but I've just moved from Ireland. I'm a sound engineer. I don't want paid, but I can help you out. And Mel messaged me back going, please come and help us. So
What year was this, huh?
2014. It was June 2014.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would have already been bartending there actually,
Yeah, so...
or something like that. I would
But
have
anyway,
just started.
that was for it didn't work at all. The three of them trying to play because like, you had Az, who's jazz classical, you had Ken, who's just pure grunge punk rock, and you've
No, I remember this, lah.
Rez is just pure blues.
Yeah.
Pentatonic.
So what? They were supposed to play together.
Playing
and
together.
Find a way.
The three of them.
Yeah.
The three of them would do an
So-
individual 5-minute thing,
But they,
and then
Azmyl, I think you did it once, lah.
and then they had to do a
Is
collab
it?
thing.
Oh.
Then they had to do a collab.
Merdicaria had this thing called matches where they would pick people of the same.
Okay.
I guess the similarity between these three was
They all
that
play
they were
guitar.
all on the guitars, lah.
Play guitar.
Like, very stand out on their guitars, right? But they would take like folk type singers
Yeah,
together, and then there'll be some, electro all together. But it all just be like, how Reza
It's
was
like a
doing
song.
that.
It's like
like a
songwriters round.
round.
That's what
Yeah,
that's what we
correct.
used to do. That's what we used to do
Yeah,
at Kel's
correct.
song.
Yeah.
But that's
Basically,
okay if you singer songwriter, okay, because then you could feel
Yeah, but
it.
this
So it's
was-
quite clear. Yeah.
This was all instrumental.
Three
There was no
guitarists.
singing
I don't
at
know how
all.
you- yeah, that's you can't do that.
And it was sort of okay when they were doing their individual thing. You're going okay because
Yeah.
Ken was using these loops pedals and Az was doing his classical thing, so that was nice. And Rez was doing his blues thing, which is nice. But then they had to do a collab, and it just was like you're just sitting drinking your beer, laughing like. I was like, oh,
Can you imagine how many notes you would have heard?
oh,
Whoa, man.
all of them.
Whoa.
You heard all the notes. All,
You heard all.
all at once. and every key available. Like
You
the thing about
heard
all
the
three,
off notes.
all three of the guys laugh about it now when you mentioned them. They were going, oh god. They all go, was that your first gig in Merdicaria? I go, they all go, that did not work. I go, no, it didn't work at all. Like,
It's cool experiment, lah.
Oh, it was a
Tried
cool
it.
experiment.
Interesting.
yeah.
Damn, man. Yeah, all formats. It's interesting, lah, to see. Always, I think venues and organizing it, trying different formats, right?
Let's just see what works.
Yeah,
Everybody's
yeah.
trying to see what works.
The round format I really love the round format because it kind of it's interactive. Plus, you play less songs, but I think it's very conducive when you put three. I think in singer-songwriter mode it works, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a more intimate
Yeah.
setting.
I think
Yeah.
Reza has got that format pretty well nailed down. Like he knows what he's.
Hey, he learned that from us, okay? Kelsey song. He played that. Yeah, we used to get him to play too. Yeah. So, but I think, the format was something that Pete Teo was already doing. Pete
Oh,
Teo
right,
was doing a songwriters round around 2001, 2002. So actually, it was a format that he had introduced, and I think we looked at it. Hey, it is cool, and it just beats the what you call this? If if still a songwriter solo, you can't do like a band gig, right? One after another.
No.
Yeah.
Tiresome, man. It's like one.
Unless they are all on stage all at the same
Yes.
time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. Oh man.
Derek's just already like short circuiting. I think Derek's just 4 drum sets.
Yeah.
Oh, one.
I've had that like at metal gigs, like drummers like
4 drum sets.
drummers arriving. We 4 drummers arriving. We have 4 different kits, and you just looking at them and going, no, no.
Wow.
Just tell them go over to that corner. The 4 of you figure out which one drum kit you're using, and that's it. But I like using my own. I don't care. Do you know how long it's going to? You know how long it's going to take to strip down 4 drum kits? Go over there, sort it out, and then get back to me.
4 drum kits. Drummers round.
Oh,
That'd be cool.
drummers are the worst. They're the worst. especially metal drummers. Oh, they bring in a 20-piece kit, and a venue that holds 50 people. 20-piece. The kit takes up half the venue.
Oh man.
I've seen it happen. I'm not joking.
That's dedication, you know.
Oh, turn me up. That's
Oh
hilarious.
man. No, when you talk about saying, there was one underground gig we played in Maharaja Mission. It was at Actor Studio, the Datra Merdeka. So we were just sound checking. So this first band sound check, they were called Angry Young. They're 4-piece,
Okay.
but their grammar was wrong. They were called Angry Young Men, like singular MAN, not MEN.
Oh.
Yeah, so which one is Angry Young? Anyway, the guys were sound checking. Not even the first note, huh? I think the guitar just put everything max, turns on. Beep-bop. The amp just died. And the guy organizing it's like, shit, that's the only guitar amp. Like scrambled to find another amp, but I made it on time. It's like, what? Fuck, I never forget, Angry Young Man. Didn't he get to hear the angst? I wonder if they're still around. I don't think so. Maybe
I
it
once
becomes something.
ran a charity gig in my hometown for I can't remember what the charity was, but it was a 10-band gig. And the first band was a band called Menace, and throughout the night of the gig, I think we counted the money. About 450 people paid to get in throughout the night. This is a venue that only holds 250, but it was people going in and out throughout the night. But there was about 20 people there for the first band who were Menace, and it was like people talking about seeing Nirvana's first gig or something like that. No one will ever forget this gig for how bad it actually was. At one stage, the band, they were only kids, like I felt sorry for them. At one stage, the band were playing two different Nirvana songs at the same time. It was a thing to behold. Half the band were playing In Blooming, the other half were playing Lithium. But they're all thinking they were playing exactly the same song. And the bass player throughout the first song hadn't got his bass plugged in. The cable was unplugged. He was sitting rocking, giving it everything, rocking it all out, and we were just sitting watching it. This is 2000.
That's legendary.
2000. This is about 18 years ago, and we still talk about it to this day.
What happened to Menace? What happened to they become something else, probably.
Actually, I think one of them is a very, very, very good tattooist in the town now. He's got a very successful business, but like they all went on to play in decent bands eventually, but like no one will ever forget that first gig. It was a thing to behold. It was two different Nirvana songs at the same time. It was just amazing.
But of course, they didn't finish the song, right? They didn't finish the song.
They finished the song.
Well, that's an art, man. Two different songs.
Man, that's why the gig's so legendary. You could not imagine. It wasn't like they started playing the song and then stopped going, oh, we're playing the wrong song. They were in the zone, playing in the two different Nirvana songs at the same time, thinking they were playing the same song. It was absolutely legendary. You couldn't write it like as a comedy skit. It was fantastic. It was avant-garde art avant-garde art by accident. was fantastic.
I mean, even the Ramones couldn't finish, right? They play wrong, then like,
yeah,
they just like
no,
stop, right? Wow,
These
these
guys-
guys are different, man.
These guys were on a whole different level of fantastic. So bad, it was
Man,
amazing. Venice. Venice. So guys, I think we're up to our 55 minutes, which I think is our limit in Zoom. When you've got more than 3 people, we can only do a 55-minute call.
No, actually, there was a thing that said that there was a notification that came up said that it's been upgraded to unlimited minutes.
Well, we'll end it
Oh.
at this. Operator thing.
But I want to keep talking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, I think we'll just.
These are we keep it for the B-sides.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
Keep it for the
box set.
B-sides.
Always keep it on. Always keep it
box set.
on. I think it was this would be a good start and a good conversation. So, thank you guys for the first ever waiting rooms podcast.
Ooh.